Hey guys, All in Crypto here, and welcome back, ladies and gentlemen, for what is going to be a short and sweet Cardano update video. We are going to be focusing on the price predominantly. We did do a video on Sunday where we were looking at Cardano's price and saying that it is ready to break out, i.e., sort of break past this 41 cents range and start to find higher ground. Now, we've had a slight pullback from that video, but I really want to break it all down. Still reiterate my stance that I think Cardano is very much set for more upside. Technically, I think the structure that we are forming is very pleasing for me to see. Certainly, as I believe on a sort of broader cryptocurrency market landscape, that the market has somewhat turned, and perhaps the bear trend that was previously in place from sort of November 2021 is coming to an end, and we're about to see that shift in markets. It's why we actually decided to allocate capital back into the markets on the 5th of January, having been out of the markets for the majority of last year. You know, it was a decision that took a lot of thought and was made technically, fundamentally, you know, really weighing up the macro environment and where it's going. And it's been a good decision thus far. But are we going to continue to be correct? That's the main question, I guess, that's to be answered, and we will see. But I'm very much set for Cardano seeing more upside. I think once we break past this sort of 41 cents level, and I'm going to break it all down, we're going to put the drawback on. We're going to be recapping on what we said in the last video. You know, we've been tracking Cardano's price action very, very accurately thus far. Ultimately, you know, if you look at the 5th of January, where I first had that discussion with my Patreons, you can see the price was still down, and it's done very well. Cardano hasn't been, by any stretch of the imagination, my largest performer, but Cardano, for me, is a workhorse. You know, it's a cryptocurrency that is philosophically sound, technologically sound. I am releasing a video with Karan from Wing Riders after this, so if you guys are interested in that, please stay tuned. We do talk about a number of really interesting topics, and of course, get an update from Wing Riders. And tomorrow, we've got a really exciting video coming out with Ansem, the individuals in charge of AUSD. And also, we're going to be releasing a video on sidechains, because sidechains are literally Cardano's path to unlimited scalability, or uncapped scalability, and also interoperability. And this is just something from Basho, which really highlights this. One of the core developments of Basho will be the introduction of sidechains, new blockchains, interoperable with the main Cardano chain, the immense potential to extend the capabilities of the network. Sidechains can be used as a sharing mechanism by offloading work from the main chain onto the sidechain to increase the capabilities of the network. They can also be introduced experimental features without affecting security of the main chain. So this is insane. If you really understand what sidechains do to Cardano and what they're bringing to Cardano, they are literally changing the entire game, ladies and gentlemen. But let's get into the price, which is largely what this video is about. You know, we've really been tracking this from the point of this run up, and we said, look, you're going to get a pullback. This is healthy structure because it's essentially going to set up what may be an inverse head and shoulders. And of course, we did get that. We also got the return move to this neckline. The real question is, was this the neckline somewhere down here? I mean, it's not really a perfect neckline. We'll go ahead and get rid of this box of resistance, which we'll look at, because you're coiling up around a very key level of significance. Now, we certainly during last year, we're only giving price predictions that the market's going down, okay? And we're sold. Our net position was short. We're now sort of net long. And we don't often, certainly for ADA, give updates like this. So take for it what you will. The first price prediction that we gave for ADA and the cryptocurrency market generally was we're taking a long position at the start of January. And I am on the side of continuation and sticking to the long side. You want to find out more about this, feel free to join my Patreon. We don't only discuss the positions that we have, you know, what the thoughts are around them, where we're looking to get to, what we're buying. We've had altcoins that have done, you know, 200% plus since the start of January. We've done very, very well. And again, Cardano isn't really a sort of moonshoot crypto for me. It's a stable workhorse that I know is going to be here in the next 5 years and play a significant role in the cryptocurrency market as it emerges. So we've really been tracking all of this. And then we were looking at the most recent price. and we said that this is likely. You're going to have a pullback. This is the exact draw. We actually loaded up pre-CPI before you got this. And I actually am looking to accumulate Cardano whilst we are under this level here. So a pullback is actually largely a deeper correction is largely a blessing and not a curse, because we're not longing. This is accumulate Cardano with a high amount of leverage. So we have no risk of being liquidated. Cardano is a project that I believe in long term. The only reason we sold ADA at the start of 2022 was to reaccumulate it, but much more of it. And we've done that very successfully for the longer term. You know, if you think Cardano has gone far in terms of the market cap that it got to back in 2000 and, you know, the height of the bull market, then I'm here to tell you, if you look at where Ethereum is now, I think Cardano will reach a similar market cap and above and beyond that moving forwards. Many of these layer one cryptos will, as the space gets adoption. We haven't even got a regulatory framework built up for it yet, and that is coming. I know that's an interesting debate with contingent staking, one that I'm staying well out of. On that note, though, I do just want to say that I'm seeing a lot of people be sort of very negative towards Charles Hoskinson. Cardano is far more than Charles Hoskinson, but the community owe the individual, and so does the cryptocurrency market at large, quite a lot. And I'm personally a big fan of his work, a big fan of him and his personality, and I think he's done an amazing job. But moving on from that, you know, this is really what we're looking at, right? So we're looking at a inverse head and shoulder. So where would I be wrong? Well, if you run this shoulder here. So if you run this, okay, then we're very much fixed, in my opinion, for more downside. So if this gets run, we'll change our bias. So if the 32 cents mark gets ran, then I can say, okay, this is no longer a head and shoulders. There's something probably more serious waiting in the wings. And actually, if we look at this head and shoulders and where it's at, so around about 33 cents, sorry, and we use this tool, you know, you can see how we bounce perfectly at the 618, your golden ratio. You know, this would take you to around about the 50% mark, which isn't a coincidence, by the way. You know, Fibonacci levels do play out. So we wouldn't want to see anything like that take place. That's where I admit that I'm wrong and that you're no longer coiling up for the breakout. The structure that we looked at on the last video, to me, was exceptionally promising. And it didn't play out that way. You know, you got to remember that Cardano is very much a part of the crypto space and largely, you know, gets told what to do by it. This structure here was a very promising one to me, although a little bit skittish with the wicks. So I'm still looking at this. The real question is, was this your left shoulder, or are we yet to have the left shoulder? Okay, and if you look at where Cardano got rejected here, 1, 2, 3 times a lady, you can actually see that it's at a very, very significant level, not just here being the precursor of support, 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 now flipped as resistance, and then you set off for the downside. You know, you can see the significant price action over here, capping it. But what happened once you broke through it, ladies and gentlemen? You saw real upside. Could probably go further back. Can you see how significant this level of prices right here is? Extremely significant. The next most significant level is going to be around here, which is likely, I think, going to be your basement coming out of the fib. I'll just check that. Yes, it is. So this is an extremely key level that I'm happy to sort of bounce around. I won't be happy if we break that, and I'll have to relook at what I'm doing. But whilst we bounce around here, and there's an element of not being greedy, okay? And being greedy, you know, doesn't just account for not selling. It also accounts for, you know, waiting for that optimal entry. So whilst we're bouncing around here, depending on whether this was your left shoulder or whether this is now the armpit of the right shoulder, sorry, and you're about to form a larger, this would be very, very bullish structure that would imply, depending on whether you're using the logarithmic scale or the non-log chart, that you've got to move 60 cents minimum and above, which you're looking at, you know, coming up to. We'll look at the target of this inverse head and shoulders at all. But I am confident, and that doesn't mean that this is financial advice, just what I'm personally doing and looking at, that you're going to get a break through this, providing that and a war doesn't kick off, or there's something drastic takes place, right? You're going to get through this significant level at 42 cents, and you're going to, once you've done that and you've given the bulls the confidence that that's the case, you are then on that journey to the upside. Something that I'm confident of, where am I wrong? Well, we've laid it all out for you. If we, forgive me guys, if we break this sort of 50 mark, that would be a negative sign. It would also mean you've ran your left shoulder, which is not what I want to see in a precursor to head and shoulders. You can coil up here for a consolidated period of time. So just removing the sort of extended draw of a little bit of scenario forecasting. You can, we did expect a pullback here, as of course it's such a key level, but you could maybe do something like this where you reject and you consolidate, you sort of wind up a little bit, squeeze, and then go. And then I wouldn't even be surprised to see a retest. But once you've broken this level, it's happy days essentially for Cardano, and I think it's not going to be very long. Very quickly, we'll just do the head and shoulders targets. So if we go from the tip of the head, the crown of the head, all the way up here on a non-log chart, so you'll get two different. And there's a huge debate within technical analysis of which chart you should use to come up with a target. But just to give you a rough target, you're looking at around about 60 cents here, guys. If this plays out, which would clear all of this price action, which you might find a bit of struggle in. But once you've cleared this, you've got a big open void here. And we'll deal with this when we get to it. The journey back to $1 is what I may start calling these TA series. You've got this big open void here that won't take you long to fill, once, providing that the momentum's with you. So using a log scale. So that was a non-log target. This is your log target. If this is your neckline and not this, that's taking you right the way back up to 73 cents. This is what I believe you're looking for. I think actually there are altcoins that we're looking at to overperform Cardano from a sort of trader perspective. But from an investment point of view, the reasons why I invest in Cardano is because I think it's going to be a cryptocurrency that's going to be here over the next 5 to 10 years. And I think it's going to have a far bigger market cap at that stage than where it currently does. We see a lot of threat from sort of regulations. Actually, Cardano is very much equipped to deal with that. It's what this debate is sort of on with the contingent staking. You've got things like a Tyler Prism. You've got all these amazing things. And I actually think that side chains are, from the Cardano content creator point of view, which is lackluster to say the least, is massively sleeping on sidechains and what it means. If you understand what sidechains do and how expansive the range is for it, you can't get left with anything other than excitement. So we'll see what happens. I think you're coiling up here. Where am I wrong? Well, you run that sort of 33 cents mark, and then I'll say, okay, I'm wrong, and I'll hold my hands up. But you're going to coil up here, and you're going to look for that upside, in my opinion. All I've got for you in this video, guys, just a quick price update. Hopefully you've enjoyed this one. If you have, a like, it's always appreciated. So as a comment, and I'll catch you all in the next YouTube video. Thanks a lot for watching, ladies and gents.